Alright, Emu Flight, stock tune, idle at 7.5%, D-Shot 600, oldest quad I own, got built a year ago, 2 new motors, 1 new arm, noisiest thing I own. It's pretty windy out, like 15-mile-an-hour breezes, it just rained, and it's pretty cold out here in Kansas. Let's see how this new Emu Flight feels. Hey, that wasn't too bad. Just came unplugged. I don't even think I broke a prop. Gonna be okay. Prop's a little wonky. It'll buff. Alright, Future Martin recording from at home talking over this. As we get into it, everybody should know this is a Craft Quads low flow with Emax 2207 2400 kV LS motors, rocking Rebel 4-cell 1350 pack with Johnny Azure props and a Revolt OSD and Bolt 32 combo. So that's the basis of all my parts, but as we get into it, I kind of wanted to comment on the flight of this quad. So in the DVR or in the FPV feed, I didn't get any of these little bobbles. I got a little bit of prop wash you can see here and there. That was pretty close. But it just felt really locked in. Now looking at the HD footage, then you know there's some things that need to change, and I think that's a part of tuning. Is like you can tune off the DVR for a while, and then you have to tune off the HD footage because you get the stick feel right, but you want it to look smooth in HD. And this is recorded in 4K 30. So I think we should focus on the stick feel, which is how I got stuck at this little spot, flying this little gap. The stick feel of this felt amazing. It felt so direct. The quad did what I wanted to do, maybe even a bit more so than I expected or intended. I think that's mainly because I wasn't running my usual deadband. I put in my rates and I raised the idle to 7.5%, so it felt the same amount of floaty, and it flipped at the same rate and everything, but the deadband was stock and I run a pretty high deadband, and that's where you can see me making a lot of corrections like that little maneuver right there, going back and forth on roll. And but besides that, I mean, it felt really good. The axis that felt the worst was yaw, but I also run a toilet tank battery, and this quad, the low flow, is just like a nugget of weight. So I think the yaw needs to be messed with a little bit. It feels a little loose, not locked in. The roll felt super locked in, and so did the pitch, to be honest. All my pitch flicks and stuff. You know, that's kind of not a blind trick, but you're just thrust vectoring to where you want to go, and if it's off, then you end up a little bit, you know, to the left, to the right, a little low, a little high. And in terms of pitch flicks and just pitch feel, it felt great. In terms of rolls, doing rolls, I did one at the end here. It feels really good. Yeah, Emu Flight was just super impressive. I'm stoked about this. I can't wait to see how the tuning session goes. It's so good. It feels so good. I'm gonna call it there. It's getting pretty windy out here. But I gotta be honest, Emu Flight feels amazing. It feels super direct. It's got a little bit of prop wash, but that's like the least of my worries because you can tune that out. And I think you sacrifice some flight feel for getting rid of prop wash. Like you can dumb down any quad to no prop wash, but you lose some stick feel. This, I feel like, feels just as direct as my Flight 1 setup with my tune on it. Keep in mind, this is stock settings, so from here I'm probably gonna go up and pee a little bit. On this quad, I'll leave the filtering because it's super noisy, so I don't want to get hot motors, but I mean, my motors are barely warm, and we'll see the GoPro footage, but in the DVR it looked super smooth. It felt super smooth, and with the 7.5% idle, it just felt super locked. So I mean, I give it like a 9.5 out of 10, and that like a 10 would be my tune I've been running on my Flight 1 setup for over like a year now, and I spent a lot of time on, but this is super close. It just feels so good, and yeah, I hope this little preview flight was helpful for you guys. And we talked about this on the last episode of the Fly Life podcast with Greg Ryder. It's episode number 59, so check that out if you want to hear about stuff like this. Peace.